talk to us about this. Apparently, this freak tornado, is that right, that tore through Saitama, also Chiba Prefecture yesterday. Dozens. I hear a lot of people were hurt and a lot of damage.
Yes, dozens of people were hurt. Buildings' roofs were completely ripped off. These are major commuter towns. The meteorological agency is saying that they're calling it a freak tornado. But what was happening, they say, is that on the ground it's been incredibly hot this summer. We have had really freak weather. 125 cities in Tokyo hit new record highs this year. You're looking at 40 degrees plus in some cities. And yesterday was the case in some of these cities too. They had like near 40-degree temperatures, but in the air was apparently some -6 degrees. So that difference created this, what they call the supercell formation that triggered a tornado. Many people without homes, in shelters throughout the night, and a lot of power outages still in that area. It's been an incredible 2 years, really, for natural disasters here in Japan.
Rainstorms soaking so much of the area, so much of the Northeast, Sam, and flooding in a lot of areas.
Yeah, it was about a quarter of the country, George, that kind of ended this summer, if you really call that holiday the end of summer, with what seemed to be the summer specialty, and that was those super soaking thunderstorms. Let's show you some pictures that came out of the, well, Pennsylvania area. This was about 20 water rescues out of 50 stranded cars. This kind of rain coming, we've heard it all summer long. 4 inches of rain in just a matter of hours. Take a look at the totals from Maine all the way to New Jersey, where the big rainfall totals. A lot of places getting 4 inches of rain in just about 4 inches in just about 4 hours. Providence, Philadelphia. Drenching downpours, a half inch of rain in 15 minutes, rushed floodwaters into Cranston, Rhode Island. Residents were evacuated there from their apartment building by boat.
It came up so fast, like you just had to react.
2 inches of rain per hour in parts of Pennsylvania. In Springfield, Pennsylvania, dozens of people were rescued from waist-high water in a BJ's Wholesale Club parking lot, while other shoppers were left stranded inside the store.
Floodwaters came inside BJ's. The ceiling began to leak. Everyone was told to stay put.
And then we were walking in puddles, and then everybody started trying to get out, and they wouldn't let anyone out. The policeman came and said, no one can come out. If you try to get out, you're going to get arrested.
Outside crews from 7 fire companies made an estimated 20 water rescues.
Finally, a newcomer to the London skyline is causing a big problem. It's a shiny new 37-story tower in the financial district that can apparently do to cars parked below what a magnifying glass can do to a bug if you're a kid. The mirrored building focuses such intense heat, it melted parts of a car parked beneath it. For now, scaffolding will keep cars out of the intense beam of concentrated sunlight.
Since then, more sun-related damage has been reported on shops and objects that are in the path of the building's reflected glare.
I can't even lift it up, it's actually that hot. He's just fried an egg here on the streets of London.
The skyscraper's developers say they're seeking to rectify the problem, which they blame on the position of the sun at particular times of the day and year. Certainly this is an unusual problem, but even more so in a country that's not normally known for its particularly sunny weather.
Ferocious winds tear across a car park towards a school building. One pupil caught the force of the storm on camera. The tornado tore through the region of Tochigi, north of Tokyo, on Wednesday. Authorities have activated emergency plans and opened shelters after many houses and buildings were left roofless or completely destroyed. This was the second tornado to have struck the country this week
and has been rated F2 on the Fujita scale, the same one used in the US.
Tons of dead fish are found floating in a river in central China following a toxic spill. This is the latest in a series of pollution scandals to hit the country. Wednesday, workers dredged around 220,000 pounds of dead fish from 25-mile stretch of the Fuji River near the heavily populated city of Wuhan. inorganic chemical manufacturer apologized on Friday, saying it began a week-long production halt Wednesday and blamed the spill on a sewage release that exceeded standard levels. Since earlier this year, concerns about safety of China's drinking water has grown. According to the BBC, in March, nearly 14,000 dead pigs were found in rivers in Shanghai. Authorities have not listed the cause of the deaths. This is the latest environmental issue to affect China.
The environmental department warned the public not to eat the dead fish, but said that the drinking water was not affected. I'm still not sure whether I should believe in that.
Look at this dramatic video. I'm calling it a Smokenado. It's a whirlwind of smoke. Sometimes we see those of fire or dust or actually a tornado. This one's smoke from a controlled burn in Mississippi. They were burning off some of the dead crops in the field. Here it is. Let's roll that video. This is a Smokenado. The smoke being picked up, probably some farm buildings as well. At times you see some little specks in there that I suspect might have been like an outbuilding or something like that. It's rotating counterclockwise. It got to be pretty strong. I think it was out on the edge where there was a shifting winds between in the burning area and then the inflow to that, and that's what allowed the rotation to develop. So there is what we call a Smokenado.
News of concern from Bihar. The flood situation there continues to worsen.
In fact, more than 180 people are dead and over 1 lakh affected across 15 districts in the state.
It's a day-by-day struggle for more than 2 million flood victims in Bihar after flood waters of the Ganga devastated lives in over 15 districts. And with the state's major rivers, including the Ganga and the Kosi, not receding, worries are on the rise. Already standing crops including paddy, banana and maize worth crores of rupees have been destroyed. NDRF teams have been kept on standby. The government is yet to react to this crisis with full force.
The 300 relief camps set up by the government simply incapable of coping with the steady flow of flood refugees.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, but this is the 6th of September. It's incredible. I've just come back from a swim at Swamppool Beach. They did speak for rain. I can't say that they actually spoke for hail, the likes of which I don't know that I've ever witnessed before. You can see the hail just mounting up everywhere.
Some unusually heavy rains led to flash flooding this weekend in Utah. The hardest hit area was south of Salt Lake City. The storm led to road closures, power outages, mudslides, and evacuations. In one area, 3/4 of an inch of rain fell in just 15 minutes. Some neighborhoods reported more than 3 feet of water in homes.
Last night it was Georgia and Alabama's turn. A fireball lit up the skies. They say it was a small but potent meteor. While it was probably only about the size of a baseball, it came in at a low altitude at 73,000 miles an hour and thus lit up a huge area.
NASA in Huntsville, we talked to researchers there at the Marshall Space Flight Center, and some updated information. We had first thought this was part of the torrid meteor shower that typically goes on this time of the year right around Halloween. Well, researchers at NASA say it was not a torrid meteor. It was a meteor, probably from a nearby asteroid belt. And here's kind of the interesting thing. Radar shows a number of impacts across the state of Alabama. So these are not only meteors, but because they did land on Earth, they are meteorite.
A comet looping behind the sun right now could emerge this fall as a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle, or it may not. Mike Shue explains.
I call it an intergalactic snowball. Educators have a different take.
Oh, it's called Comet Ison.
NASA provided this image of Ison, a small head, big tail.
That tail can get tens of millions of miles long, so it's huge.
But in its middle, it's just dirt and ice, 3 miles across. 3 miles, large enough to comfortably fit between the shores spanned by the Bay Bridge and its approach ramps.
It could be the comet of the century. That's what some people were calling, but it's too early to really say that.
That's a pretty big statement.
It is. And how far are we into the century? So we've got a long way to go, you know?
It is certain to light up the winter sky. That is, unless it doesn't. They don't know if the sun will blast it to bits.
If it doesn't bust apart, it could be visible for weeks from December in through January.
The Science Center expects to have special programs if the comet is as visible as they hope it will be.
This is just a small part of a major environmental disaster. Diver Roger White took his camera below the surface to record the results of what 233,000 gallons of molasses has done to the sea life.
They're all dead and they're all just laying across the bottom. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands.
Nutrient-rich molasses could cause an unusual increase in harmful bacteria and algae.
The Department of Health says it doesn't know how to clean up the mess of more than 200,000 gallons of molasses, so it's leaving it to Mother Nature to dissolve the sugary water.
You can see some of these fish. Yeah, it's already killed thousands of them. The problem is that this molasses has mixed into the water.
Oil rises to the top where it can be cleaned off the water, but molasses sinks. It's still not clear what charges or fines Matson, the company behind the spill, will face.
Towns have been turned into swamps. In Colorado, rivers flow where roads once existed. Entire communities remain submerged by what authorities are calling a 100-year flood.
But it's not just small mountain towns. Cities like Boulder in Colorado have been flooded. Towns cut off by rivers bursting their banks.
The state says at least 30 highway bridges are completely destroyed. More than a dozen dams have been compromised.
The flooding is spread out over parts of 15 counties. That's about 4,500 square miles.
6 people are confirmed or presumed dead, and more than 1,200 are unaccounted for.
Nearly 12,000 people have been evacuated. Some 19,000 homes have been damaged or destroyed.
Flooding is spreading across parts of 15 counties, stretching almost 200 miles from north to south.
National Guard troops with emergency supplies have been sent to Lyons, a town that's been virtually cut off by the torrential rain.
Boulder County emergency services have been struggling to get to people in need and ensure their safety. Officials have said it is a 100-year flood. US President Barack Obama has signed an emergency order approving federal disaster aid for the area.
As you saw very briefly there, we found the view from the air is the only real way to explain the dimension of this natural disaster.
Residents say this level of flooding is unprecedented.
Mexico is being hit by 2 major storms at the same time, with Tropical Storm Ingrid battering the Gulf Coast and Tropical Storm Manuel causing widespread damage in Acapulco on the Pacific coast.
Well, the death toll from twin tropical storms in Mexico has risen to 40.
The authorities remain on high alert as the National Meteorological Service warned of what it called a strong and prolonged rainy season across a majority of the country. The authorities remain on high alert as the National Meteorological Service warned of what it called a strong and prolonged rainy season across a majority of the country. The holiday
have destroyed bridges, roads and homes. Thousands of people were evacuated following the rare double whammy of storms. Water has risen up to 3 meters in parts of the Pacific resort of Acapulco in the wake of Tropical Storm Manuel.